Alright, today we're going to look at the FD3s, the Metal Flake, the Sea Line, and the new Horizon Doombird 4, and I'm going to give this away, and I'll give you the details somewhere along the way. So if you want to win this one exactly, then just keep watching. And so the first one we're going to look at is just a basic little 320 kind of hyzer shot, kind of almost trying to skip it off the ground. And so I went with the Metal Flake first. I threw it a little low, maybe a little too flat, but it pushed out pretty far before entering into the fade part of the flight path, and then it just did its skip. And then the Sea Line, which on this shot, it was a bit more hyzer, but you can already kind of see it's a little bit more stable. And then the Horizon FD3. Now this one, even here, what you're going to start to see is that it has just as much fight into its fade as the Sea Line, but this one seems to want to fight down quicker than across like the Sea Line. And so you'll see it kind of fights into the ground and has a little less of a skip. And then we went into really tight flex backhand shot, kind of like maybe through some wooded shot. And so I keep this Metal Flake really tight, and you see it holds that line for quite a long time. It won't turn over just yet, but it doesn't fight out very quick, and then barely maybe catches a little bit of edge, but really finishes a lot straighter, and it kind of dives into the ground. Whereas the Sea Line, you see that on that same tight angle, it does fight out a lot quicker and able to catch edge and then skip through that opening like I'm trying to get. And then the Doombird, I put it even a little tighter and a little harder on the ante, but it's still like it wants to fight up and out a lot quicker. So even with that steep angle, it had enough fight to come out here on this just kind of straight to maybe slight hyzer shot. And so the Metal Flake, this one I put on flat, and there's a left to right headwind, and so it pushed it just a little ante, and it held it the whole way at full speed, for me at least. And so it didn't really want to fight out, but it didn't turn over, but it did drift with the wind. Whereas the Sea Line, that one you see pushes out, but it does want to fight against the wind a lot more. And then the same thing with the Doombird. That one you see it push out, but instead of wanting to fight left, and I'll show you that even more in the next shot, it wants to kind of fight down. And so on the next one, I was just doing maybe about a 300-foot kind of like simulated tunnel shot, and just trying to do a 300-foot shot. And you see the Metal Flake on this backhand through this tunnel looking thing. It pushes out really far, and maybe at the last 80 to 90% of the flight path, then it wants to go into that fade, kind of like carrying out. And Sea Line, same idea, you see it push out, and sooner it fights out, but you see it swing from right to left like this. Whereas the Doombird on this throw, it's going to push out, and instead of swinging left to right, it's going to immediately want to tilt and start swinging down and to the left a lot sooner. So it's wanting to find the ground a lot quicker than the Sea Line. And then we went into just some basic forehands. Tried to do a flat one again into the wind. Metal Flake, you see the into the wind. The wind doesn't have enough stability to fight against the wind, but it does have enough to keep it from turning over. So you see it has some flex to about 320. The Sea Line, I'm more comfortable with this, and I threw it flat, low. It doesn't really turn out at all or flex in any way, and just finishes straight, and then has about a 300, 310 finish. And the Doombird didn't really give it the best of showings, but it actually is more stable, and that like little bit of dome will make it have a little like less turn and less fade than the Sea Line, which is why you don't see it turn out much, and you see it not fade out much, but just dump. Then we went into just a basic high 250-foot hyzer into this highlighted spot on this hillside. And Metal Flake, again, as we've kind of seen, it pushes out way too far, way too long before trying to fade out into the spot I want, which is really good depending on what you're wanting. Sea Line, even throwing it up and to the left, it has enough swinging fade to come back over kind of towards the mouth of where I'm trying to get to. But the Doombird 4, I put it out there, and you see it, this is where you really see it flip to this angle, more of a 45-degree angle, and then start to carry and down. And so it is stable, and probably just as stable, if not a little more, as the Sea Line. Their finishes are different. And then the last one I did was this flex, little like trying to flex through and around this tree I'll show you. And so Sea Line again, holds its angle for quite a long time, but it doesn't have enough fight to finish on edge at the end. But again, like maybe for someone who maxes out at 270 forehand, 250, this is that good overstable Firebird slot. And then the C-line holds its angle for quite a long time, but then still has a nice like swinging, skipping finish. And the Doombird, again, this is where we see the difference. It'll hold its line well, fight out of it well, and then want to go straight into the ground. So you'll see it has less of a flare skip and kind of like more of a biting into the ground skip. And so regarding how they feel, the C-line, like really flat, and then same thing with the Metal Flake, but then you get into the Doombird and it has just a slight bit more dome. And so just like we kind of already know from things like the Mindbender, any of this Metal Flake C-line has a lot more give to it, and the C-line a lot stiffer, still has give, still has an average amount of just grip. My hands are just dry. And then this Horizon plastic, like you guys know from the DD1, it actually doesn't feel much grippier than the C-line or Metal Flake. And if you want a chance to win this one, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment on the video. And I don't know how, but I'll figure out. I think that when people have won in the past, they're not subscribed, so when I put it in a very specific place that you won, they never actually get the disc they won. And so if you actually want a chance at winning, make sure you're subscribed, because if you don't get the notification on day 7, then you just don't get it and someone else will. So if you want a chance at this Doombird, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and thank you guys for watching.